on YouTube? Welcome to a new video. Joining me here for a bench press workout at the OG gym. And honestly, I've got no game plan whenever I record videos. I just kind of comment on whatever comes into my head and then looking at the training, because I'm not going to lie, I usually forget about most of the training I do. I know the big lifts, I know when they occur, but when it comes to the training in the intermediate, especially when I'm backed up so much on clips or whatever. But anyway, just thanks for watching. We did have a slight debacle, so you're going to notice almost a month jump forward. And to be honest, there wasn't much that was missed. It was more of the downturn of a lot of training into a deload. But I ended up formatting a memory card I thought I had the data from already, so that's gone. So that's why if there's any sort of deviation in timing, that's why. But the good thing is we get closer to more current content. So it's more weight lifted, just more fun in general. As much as lifting can be fun, because let's be real here, not the most exciting thing in the world, but still appreciate your view and watching. So we're starting to get into heavier weights now and more consistent. It's taken 6 to 7 months to get back to a point where I can lift similar to how I was before. And as I've harped on in OHP and all the other videos, basically it's a struggle city, but we're making progress and moving in the right direction. That's fine with me. Just gonna, take what I can get and slowly try to put poundage on things and get a little bit stronger, and just is what it is. But there's usually no agenda when I'm filming these videos. I'm just doing the training. Whatever happens occurs. I'm gonna let you know about and show you. And sometimes on certain lifts, it's just I feel good, and it just doesn't move as well though, and I'll kind of like let you know about those things. On the accessory stuff, there's really not much programming involved. It's just higher rep stuff. I'm looking for sets of 10, 12, etc. Some lifts I'll modify to make them less reps just for the focus. So like our Penley row, bodybuilding row, stuff like that. But the basics are still the same. We're still pressing. We're still doing the big investment lifts, and these are the lifts that are going to carry over. These are the lifts that are going to strengthen even your accessory stuff when you are not exactly training the accessory stuff, and that's any sort of pressing, squatting, deadlifting movement. I mean, there's just no better bang for your buck than a compound movement where you can hit multiple different joints, multiple different muscle groups, and put a bunch of weight on there. That progressive resistance, that's the thing that most people miss when they're training. And I think I figured out what I'm going to title this video, seeing as I was just kind of rambling. But there we go. Let's talk about progressive resistance. You need to be able to increase the amount of weight you're lifting as a natty lifter, the amount of rep ranges, and other factors like that. You can reduce rest sets, but honestly, it's just not as effective. Everyone's going to have different resting sets and periods, and it's going to affect you daily. Like if you have a rough day at work, if you work a blue collar versus a white collar job, and you're eating and stuff like that. So I'd rather say screw all that stuff and just really focus on moving weight, adding poundages to your 1 rep maxes or rep ranges and whatever you need to do. That way you can kind of manipulate the other factors. If you're not feeling too well one day, take a longer break, or maybe you delay that workout, or you hit a heavier set than you normally would in order to just kind of stay on track, maybe cut back on the reps. And that's kind of the whole thing that I've always done. No training day is ever going to be ideal. We're all going to have good days where things are moving. You feel like you're going to break every PR, and that usually, you push that intensity, and the next day you're run down, tired, and you're like, man, I'm kind of screwed for the rest of the week. So programming is a structure, it's a guidance tool, but when it comes to actual execution, that's where you need to know not only your body, your recovery, and how you feel. This is why I think a lot of coaches can't help a lot of people. They can help you with form, they can help you with general structure to get to where you want to be though, but when it comes to performance, like on this set here, you don't know how I'm feeling, and I know exactly how I feel on this set, how I move. So that moved pretty slow for this weight that I've done before, so I know, okay, well, time to temper my expectations or take a longer rest set. And I don't always post rest sets, but on these bigger ones, I'll usually do 3 to 5 minutes, sometimes quicker if things are moving. And I know the moment I walk in the gym and start warming up, I know whether it's going to be a good day or a bad day. So as we start getting heavier and heavier on squats, again, probably my kryptonite, my weakest lift just a confidence thing. I know exactly where I need to be, and surprisingly, that 385 didn't move too bad for the way that the warm up moved. But I know sometimes a second gear will kick in when I'm lifting, and I know things are going not to plan. And I like hitting my numbers. I like physically seeing that sheet. I'm my own programmer, I'm my own coach, and I'm responsible for successes and failures. So I'm doing whatever I need to do to make sure that weight moves. And sometimes if you have to take the L, cut a rep or two off, that's fine, as long as it's not consistent. But we've got those logs where we can look at and kind of see what we've done to make sure that you're going in the right direction. So deadlifts and things after squats are, controversial to some people. Some people think it's too strenuous of things to do, but again, it all comes back to how you train. How you train is how you perform. How you perform is going to determine, the results and gains that you make. If you're constantly injured, you're probably not going to go very far, not going to build much strength. And I know my capacity and threshold, like I'm not the leanest guy in the world, clearly, but my work capacity is absolutely insane. You've seen the workout logs. I don't mind squatting, deadlifting, OHPing, bench pressing, all in the same workout, multiple different ways, dumbbells, barbells, stuff like that. And that's how I train. That's how I prefer to train. And it's taken years to get to the point to be able to handle that, recover, come in, do it again. And again, there's probably people that can do it way better than me with more weight, more reps. But basically, I've prepared myself in a way to be able to do this. And not everything's perfect, but that's where the importance of programming and knowing your body to maybe give an idealized version of what you want to accomplish. If you want to get a 1 rep max PR on your whatever lift, XYZ, or maybe all your lifts on a certain amount of time, you need to compensate for that. And it's going to take several cycles of training to be able to figure out, okay, I know I only need 3 to 4 sets of this, 2 to 3 sets of that at this rep range to get to where I want to be. And I do separate out my powerlifting style training from the bodybuilding. The bodybuilding stuff is just, it's designed to help reinforce all the powerlifting stuff, but majority of my focus and the important programming goes to these barbell loaded movements, because that's going to be the most strenuous and take the most time to recover from. So you follow those principles, you can really put together a solid program. Stuff like this, leg press, you can experiment with the different machines, especially in this gym. Figure out what works for you, what range of motion you like, and what things kind of go on there, and just start at one baseline, work up to a couple sets, add some weight, hit a stopping point, come back to it again in the subsequent workout on here. And that's really all training is just kind of seeing what your body can handle without, devastating detrimental effects. Maybe if you're squatting 315, you probably shouldn't try for 405 if you're feeling confident in a workout. But sometimes you can, go 335, 345, kind of really push that and see where you're at. The recovery on that's going to be interesting, though, because anytime you introduce a new weight, new stimulus, you're going to feel that rebound effect. So that's why we train, too. We train to accommodate ourselves to different stresses so that we're better prepared for them. Booty looking fucking insane here, so just, all right, might have to focus more on this angle for the Instagram views and TikTok stuff or whatever, but that's the whole rant there today. Maybe we'll get more structured as we get more audience and questions asked, but here's the workout. Any sort of modifications I make, you'll kind of see on there, and that's it for this video. See you in the next one. Like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching the latest video. If you want to help support the channel, I actually own my own wet shaving and grooming e-commerce website where everything's handmade by me. It's www.apexsoaps.com, and you can get a 10% off code using wet shaver. We've got some cool scents here. We've got some Coca-Cola scents, a horchata scent, traditional barbershop, just some really cool stuff. And you can purchase samples or you can buy the whole set. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out via email. Be quick to respond. Thanks for watching.